Hello. My question is, according to the Buddhist teachings, the teachings of the Buddha, so if there is no I, is all of this, there's no such thing? Am I, in theory, or also in practice, am I supposed to be okay with everything and everyone because there's actually no I, and whatever comes up in my mind is just a fabrication, it's not true? But for example, sometimes if two people say the same thing, so when a person says something, I don't understand for whatever reason. And then when another person can say the same thing, but maybe his tone of voice or the speed of his speech or his energy is different, then I understand because I can connect to something in him or how he was speaking. So, and then we choose certain people to live with certain people. We choose, for example, a partner to live with, and we don't want other people to live with, or we choose a certain house that we want to live in for whatever reason, and we don't choose something else because something speaks to us. And even, for example, here in Panchakiri, so somebody chose how this place will look for whatever reason. They chose certain aesthetics, they chose maybe certain dress code. So my question is, in theory and in practice, is because things are, like everything is fabrication and there's no self, so, but we still, in the human experience and human life, we do make choices and we do connect or not connect with certain things for whatever reason. So basically, so how does it work according to the teachings of the Buddha? How does it work? Are we supposed to be completely okay with anything because actually it's all just an illusion? So how does this work in the human life, in human reality?
ถ้าไม่มีเรามาตั้งแต่แรกเนี่ยแล้วทุกอย่างเป็นสังขารหมดเลยเนี่ยเขาก็เลยงงว่าแบบทำไมมันมีสิ่งที่ชอบกับไม่ชอบมีบางคนที่เรารู้สึกมีเคมีมากกว่าบางคนน้อยกว่าทำไมวัดต้องมีกฎมีระเบียบอันนี้ห้ามทำอันนี้ทำไม่ได้แล้วเราจะใช้ชีวิตยังไงเพราะเราก็ยังต้องตัดสินใจในชีวิตไม่ว่าจะเลือกบ้านเลือกคู่ครองเลือกงานเลือกต่างๆหรือยังไงเราควรจะโอเคกับทุกๆอย่างหมดเลยไหมเราไม่ต้องเลือกไม่ต้องมีคนที่ชอบกับไม่ชอบเพราะว่าทุกอย่างก็เป็นสังขารเป็นภาพลวงตาไม่ใช่เรื่องจริงเขาก็เลยเหมือนพยายามจะเข้าใจว่าในมุมมองของศาสนาพุทธเนี่ยมองเรื่องนี้อย่างไรเจ้าค่ะตอบเองเลยค่ะ So when we say there is no I or no me, it doesn't actually mean there is no you at the moment. It just means that there is no stable you forever. Like we think we will stay forever. Actually, you when you were a kid, you now or you in the future, we will keep changing. So in Buddhism, the teaching is because there is no me that is forever, we will keep changing. Nothing is under control. It happens because of the causes, and it will change because of the factors or the causes change. So you shouldn't grab or attach to anything, because grabbing, attaching, expecting, wanting something to be the same way cause suffering. So it doesn't mean in life we cannot make choices. We will still make choices. We will always use our resources up to our maximum capacity. Like for example, Luang Ta will do his best to teach us, regardless of how tired he is. He uses all resources that we can see, or even energy and Buddha power, everything to help certain person, right? He works 20 hours per day for 7 days a week. So he's doing everything, but when he's helping us, Some people get better, some people don't get better, but he's not upset about it because he's not attaching or expecting the result. So it's just actually similar to a Western concept in the sense that you're always doing your best, but when the result doesn't come your way in every single moment, you don't get upset about it. Do you know what I mean? So everything is sankhara, but like we know we will die, but no one thinks we will die tomorrow. We know everyone will get sick, but we don't think they will get sick in the next minute. So because of that, when our loved ones or ourselves get sick or someone you love die, we get so upset because deeply we don't believe that we cannot control things. So the whole concept is just teaching that as long as you observe what's happening in the moment, eventually you will know that everything is nature, including yourself. So that's what we are learning here. So for example, like we like business people, right? We still working, we still have family, we still have, I have my husband, I have a company like with like thousands of people. As the CEO, we make choices every day. I fire people, I scolded at my employees. I still live life as normal. The only change is we know that things will change. You know, the sun will rise, the sun will set. So the phenomenon outside and the phenomenon inside is the same. That's like the only change. So if you're not crying about today it's raining or the sun is bright, then you're not crying about what's happening inside as well. So everything's still the same because we still have this, we call it the 5 aggregates. So when you're born, this is nature, it comes already. But the only abnormal for the nature is the believing that the self is forever. Am I making sense?
Absolutely, yes.
And a little bit more about why you connect more or less to some people. Because in Buddhism we say this is not the first life. So we've been reincarnating for so many lives already. For example, you can see that some people at such a young age, they're so talented about sports or music, right? Like some people at the age of 1 or 2 can already play piano very well or can already play tennis very well. So clearly this is not the first life. The familiarity or that sort of energy moves from one life to another. So when we born again, because the memory is part of the 5 aggregates, it's gone from that last life. So you cannot memorize anymore, but the familiarity remains. So that's why when you meet certain people, animal, you feel more connected to some people. Like here, I think you feel quite familiar to us and the place, right? Even you are new here. So maybe this is not the first life we met. Yeah, so that explains it.
I think that this question, so first of all, it's not the first time, I think in general, that I've had this question before, like years ago, about these kind of things. But I think specifically now it also arose because we're here for 2 days now, and there was a lot of talk about, like very theoretical talk, but not so much talk of, or from what I've heard at least, because I wasn't present also always for the whole sessions. So I felt that there's a lot of talk and trying to explain about the self that doesn't exist, in my words, but there wasn't a lot of talk about how do you translate it into actual life. And also there was so much talk about there is no I, 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 arises and ceases, arises and ceases. So then what came to my mind is, okay, so there is no I, so what is this? Like, what is this human experience? So what's next? Like, okay, so there's no I, no I, no I, and it kept repeating. This is what I heard for a couple of days. And so then, okay, so what's next? Like, but we are in this human experience. We are living currently a human life. So how do we Okay, yes. No,
But do we do that in practice,
but what's next?
right?
Like, how do we? But we are still here at the moment. We still have a full life. I mean, we still have families or friends or occupation. So how do we? Okay, what do we do now? Okay, no, and then what?
I know what you mean. I give you an example. Maybe it's easier that way. So because is this your first time here? So you new to all the concept, right? Okay. Are you familiar with when I talk about the 5 aggregates? Do you understand?
So I mean, I've been practicing Vipassana by Goenka for some time. So I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I'm familiar with
I see what you mean. Yeah, similar terms actually. I did Goenka as well. When we say there is no I, in this sense, it means, for example, when you see something, it's just seeing, not I see. When you hear something, it's just hearing, not I hear. So, like eye, ear, touching, smelling, and tasting. And also when you think or you feel something, it's actually just thinking and feeling. So that's nature. But then the problem is when something happens, for example, someone get you angry, instead of just observe neutrally, because you're from Goenka, right? They will talk about observe neutrally most of the time. That when you're angry, actually, it's just the energy is coming up. The energy of it's just energy. But we think that energy is ours. We define it as anger. We define it as that person gets me angry. I have to get rid of my anger. So you see, actually, it's just some energy is coming up. It will come and it will go. But because we identify it, we take ownership of that. The problem happens. So actually, the problem doesn't come because someone said bad things to us. Or it doesn't come because of that energy is coming up. Because no energy, no anger will stay forever. But the problem is, that person hurts my feeling. I am angry. I need to get rid of the anger. How can I not be in this situation or this anger again forever? So because of that, because of we wanting to change what's happening in the moment, that causes suffering. So actually, this is the whole point of the learning, that what we think is that I forever doesn't exist.
Just want to add a little bit to what Ik just mentioned to you. So basically, you say you have heard that, there's no I, no I, no I, and then what, right, in the real world? Well, of course, this is a 5 aggregate, right? This is a 5. You have the 5 aggregate. I have the 5 aggregate, which mean like Ik explain the body, the feeling, the perception, and then the fabrication, and then the consciousness. Okay. The meaning of no I, that although this is 5 aggregate, and basically the concept is that there is no attachment, that this is my 5 aggregate. It's a 5 aggregate that the functioning of the 5 aggregate is just functioning according to the cause and factors and according to the past karma. The past karma. So the 5 aggregate is basically functioning according to the causes and factors and then all the past karma. Of course, although you are not attached to this is your 5 aggregate, you do not want to make your 5 aggregate to be in jeopardy or in problems, right? You would not try to break the laws and then you will go to jail. Although there's no I, and then no attachment to this 5 aggregate, you would not violate the law. Otherwise, you go to jail. Even this is not I, But if you go to jail, then you could not come to this place here to listen to the Dhamma from หลวงตา Okay, that's basic, trivial one. Okay, and then I think this morning, if you heard about what หลวงตา said in the morning, หลวงตา talk about the Dhamma for tomorrow, the Makha Busha day, right? So first, do not do the unwholesome things. You know the unwholesome things? Do not break the 5 precepts. You know the 5 precepts, right? Okay, don't kill the animal, don't steal other people belonging, don't have the sexual misconduct, blah, 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 right? That's basically the Buddha already say that, right? And then secondly is also that do the wholesome thing. So do you come here to listen to Dhamma of หลวงตา listen to everyone here. So you are doing the good deed. So basically you building a good foundations, right? So that basically you doing that. Okay. The third one is basically just do not have the strong attachment or hold on to things, which is really the heart of the teaching here. The first two is very easily. You have the 5 precepts, you do not break it. And second, you do all the good things, right? And third, basically, you do not attach to what you are doing. For example, the first one, you do not, break the 5 precepts. But then if you are so attachment that this is your 5 aggregate, and this 5 aggregate, I is I, and I have to do something very perfect to do not break the 5 aggregate. And then if you step on an ant at the floor, you feel very bad because you say, oh, this I make the bad deed. That's basically really the problem. So the important one is that do not attachment to things. And you do not do the bad thing, do the good things. And then by understanding this, หลวงตา mentioned before, I think I used to ask หลวงตา then what is our professional life? Like Ik say she has, her own company, right? So he had to run the business. I'm working for a company. I have to work my best too, right? So หลวงตา say that for the professional thing, the worldly things, you just do the best. You can be the best tennis player. You can be the best singer, anything. But do not break the 5 precepts. Basically, you do not, harm other people. And then you keep nourishing the good things to your life. And then you just do not do everything as an I, or you do not attachment. So you do your best job. And then if something happens, maybe it's a good result or the bad result, then basically do not attach to it. So no I is just that. There's no attachment. This 5 aggregate is still do the good things, Actually, หลวงตา say that the Thai word say like ประโยชน์ตนประโยชน์ท่าน So do the good thing for you and also for other people. So in this way, it's like เมตตาอัปปมัญญา และหลวงตา teaching. So you do it like you wishing everyone well. But of course that you are in the worldly things. You would not try, if other people try to ask you to do a lot of work, you would not try to do for everyone. Otherwise, you are not do the good thing for yourself. So you do the good thing for yourself, but you are not selfish. And then try to do, gain from others. So that's basically the principle. There is no I to attach to everything you did. But you do your best. And then you do it not for only yourself, you do for every other people too. And then หลวงตา mentioned that if you do the good thing, so first you do not break the law, and secondly you do not break the Buddha teaching, right? And then basically third, you do not do something that if you did something wrong and there are no people surrounding seeing you, right? But maybe there are the angel or someone who has special knowledge can see you. So it means that you already did something bad. So don't do that kind of things. And then just keep the good foundation. And of course, that if you want to do more advanced, this five aggregate, see the suffering in this life because of the attachment that I am that, and this is mine, and this is me. Then basically, this five aggregate would basically practice more and more Dhamma, so that at the end, it just go to the main point that Sapphe Narang Abhinivesaya, like all the Dhamma, everything is no attachment. And then basically it's the end of samsara according to the book here. And so that basically I try to put down, the thing that you can see that how it can apply to your real life in job and everything.
Can I add a little more? Because your mind is already powerful enough. You don't give different practices to each person, right? I said Luang Ta gives different homework, assignment or practice to each of us. So in your case, because I think your mind is already powerful enough to see what's happening. The reason we're practicing concentration and mindfulness is that the point is to observe what's happening inside, internal phenomena the way it is. But if we don't practice enough, we cannot see it neutrally. It's phenomena inside is like that. When I told you to observe, you cannot, right? So we practice mindfulness so that instead of like that, but then it's still moving. And then you practice concentration for it to be like that. So in the combination of concentration and mindfulness, the phenomena inside, you are able to observe it the way it is. So our role is like animal documentary, like National Geographic. So let's say you a cameraman. Your job is to film the animals. Yeah. So you cannot intervene. Sometimes the bear will kill some animals. And that's bad. But your job is to observe. So instead of observing the animals outside, you just observe what's happening inside neutrally. So you don't need to force yourself to believe that there is no I, to believe that things will change, to believe that things come because of factors and go because of factors. We cannot control anything. You don't need to believe in anything we say, because as Buddha said, we don't even have to believe in him, but we take his teaching as a guide for us to observe. So I think your mind is powerful enough to be able to see. So if I may assign your homework, then you just observe neutrally of what's happening. You will see that some thinking come, thinking go, feeling come, feeling go, and so that's what you will be doing all day long. And besides from that, you can do practicing meditation, walking meditation, or anything just as normal. Working as normal, but all day long, just observe what's happening inside neutrally. So that in practice. And wisdom will come yourself.